Thank you for being there. The amputee water seller Mary Daniel Onu, who featured on Newsline 2 weeks ago after her story went viral, trended again during the week that was. This time, it had to do with a few inconsistencies regarding her background. In the heat of the drama, the Lagos State government placed Mary in the care of the leader of the Igala people in Lagos. I was at the palace on Friday, and here is an update. Before the twist in the tale, Mary Onu Daniel's birthday was celebrated by the Lagos State government with a few partners. She looked fabulous and even had a photo shoot. As Nigerians continued to delight in the unfolding real-life Cinderella story, reports emerged that some of Mary's claims about her background were false. In the heat of the confusion, the state's government handed Mary over to her kinsmen in Lagos. So I sought Mary out where she's currently being accommodated. The leader of the Igala people in Lagos, the Onu Igala, is now Mary's guardian. The traditional ruler and Mary were in high spirits when I showed up. They were overwhelmed with appreciation to government and individuals for changing Mary's fortunes.
I want to thank the Nigerian government of CEO Lumini. And I want to thank Alaji Idris. And I want to thank the whole Nigeria for supporting me to make me to be in this stage today.
Now to the issue on ground. In my initial interview, Mary stated that her parents died in the accident that cost her her leg. However, findings have revealed that her father is alive, but Mary would have none of that.
I'm not godfather. I'm not godfather.
Why?
But I don't even care for me when they bomb me. So no, I don't get. My father don't die from my eye. Well, he did, but I don't die from my eye.
Dismissing allegations that Mary's commercial activity caught on camera at Oshodi was stage-managed, the Onu Igala also countered the idea that she was amputated at birth.
But the fact still remains that Mary is amputated, not from birth, and she doesn't have a mother. Mary was struggling on the road on her own to feed herself. I mean, I have a child, I have a daughter, and I don't think I can be alive and watch my child go anywhere and sleep under the bridge and try to maybe be on the road just on her own like that. I mean, we can attest Mary has a child. Everybody knows that, and that is not the story.
I don't forgive him, but you know my father. I don't forgive him, but you know my father. Okay, what are you doing?
Although Mary admitted to initially feeling devastated when news emerged that she was probably a fraud, she remained optimistic about the future.
I'll carry a put out for school now, but I never settled down. But I settled down a good career.
The NGO has been set up already, like I say, Irede Foundation, and soon we'll be meeting with them. Her dream is to open a supermarket, and we'll meet with them, and they will see how this whole thing can be set up for her so that she can settle down and start her business and start her life again.
In the meantime, Mary continues to enjoy the comforts and privileges that come with living in a palace while she awaits the manifestation of her dream supermarket. When Mary eventually gets that supermarket, you will see it. Moving on, traveling abroad for specific medical procedures may soon be history in Nigeria, just like some other well-equipped health centers in the country. The Federal Medical Center, Abuja, is breaking grounds. Recently, a team successfully carried out the first major cost-effective keyhole surgery on some patients to repair abdominal defects. The surgical procedure, which is an alternative to open surgery, ensures quick recovery. Yemi Dalimo reports.
Before the novel procedure in the history of the hospital, traditional open surgery, which presents some surgical disadvantages like the use of large incisions with attendant consequences, was a common procedure as against the minimally invasive surgical techniques. The first major keyhole surgery being carried out at the facility, according to the medical director of Federal Medical Center, Idiaba Abeokuta, Professor Adewale Musa Olomu, provides better opportunity for the surgeons to have access to an enlarged image of the patient's internal organs during the operation, and the patient can also be discharged on the day of the laparoscopy, depending on the condition of the patient.
And there are the people that you cannot delay on bed unnecessarily. So this gives us the opportunity to say that, oh, let us see how we can attend to them so that they can promptly return to their work. And this is what brought up the issue of laparoscopic surgery.
Head of the laparoscopy surgery in the hospital, Dr. Shakiru Wahid, says one of the patients operated upon has abdominal defects which she has been battling with for some years.
We call it minimal access surgery. That is, you use small incision to access a large area. So it can be used for chest surgery, abdominal surgeries, abdominal ailments, even within the joints.
The patient, Abimbola Ayinde, speaks to NTA News shortly after the operation.
At first, I was afraid, but they just say it's just a minor thing. I shouldn't be afraid.
FMC Abeokuta says it will continue to offer quick and affordable medical care to Nigerians.
Those doctors are scoring points, excellent points. Now, for humans, the gestation period is 9 months. Anything short of that is categorized as a preterm birth. Sometimes the fetus may even be distressed. Hakimat Aliyu, however, reports that it is possible to birth a 26-week-old pregnancy. Surprising, isn't it? Let's find out how.
Medically, preterm births are babies born before 37 weeks of pregnancy. And research shows that this is a leading cause of death for children under 5 in low-income countries, with approximately over 1 million dying annually out of babies born premature. And Nigeria contributes with third highest figure. Recent developments, however, offer hope for increased survival rates, just as in the case of this baby, managed at Nizami Hospital in Abuja. The parents, who prefer to remain anonymous, explained that the mother started having complications few weeks into the pregnancy.
It was an unexpected circumstance. She wasn't due. She was within 24 weeks. But she had little complication. We had to rush down to the hospital. 2 to 3 weeks. They tried to manage the situation instead of aborting the baby for 2 to 3 weeks before she had false labor.
With the baby delivered 26 weeks of pregnancy, weighing just 750 grams, what the parents thought could be impossible turned otherwise, with experts at the pediatric unit of the hospital taking charge and helping the baby through all complications.
Was quite ill in severe respiratory distress, which started almost immediately after birth and had to be intubated. He was on that mechanical ventilator and was in this incubator. He had surfactant and had all sorts of neonatal care, including total parenteral nutrition, antibiotic therapy, and other supportive management. You have to support virtually every organ.
After 18 weeks of treatment and management at the hospital, the baby, now weighing over 2.5 kg, has been certified healthy and discharged, bringing the parents unimagined joy as they leave Nizami Hospital with their bouncing baby boy, sharing the message of hope and achievements of medicine in Nigeria.
I'd like to say that God has been faithful. I want to thank God for His faithfulness, His mercy, and how He took us through this journey. It's more like something that was impossible. I would also like to appreciate the Nizami Hospital for how they put in their very best.
Call it God's miracle or diligence of medical professionals. Either ways, you won't be wrong.
Indeed, a medical miracle. Moving on, becoming a professional in any field of endeavor is mostly expensive, yet some individuals possess an inborn ingenuity that requires a little encouragement to polish and validate their skills as inventors. Mohammed Musa Askira met with some Nigerians in Dutse, Jigawa State, who fit in this category. But guess what they aim to build one day? A passenger aircraft. Take a look.
Nigeria is really blessed with talented youth, dotting the length and breadth of the country, many of whom do not even attend university level of education. These youth are full of creative potentials, surprise even the most learned with their creativity. 29-year-old Abdullahi Hamza, a resident of Gidadubu area of Dutse, the Jigawa state capital, is a good example of these talented young Nigerians. Abdullahi has been fabricating machines and devices capable of touching the lives of people in the area of mechanized agriculture, power and medicine. Though a holder of a national diploma in Sharia and civil law from Jigawa State Polytechnic, the young man is exhibiting wonders like a thoroughly trained electrical, electronic and an aerobic engineer. Amongst his fabricated items include an aircraft, car, a bicycle, solar stove, among other items. What fascinates many is his creation of an anti-car theft security and a Bluetooth door automated devices to make life easier.
I construct like biomedical sleep inducer, which can help people suffering from insomnia. It will when they switch the machine will help them to sleep easily. Like biomedical stimulator, when someone gets injured, so that machine will help him to stimulate the wound and make it heal faster. Like mosquito repellent, it will use ultrasonic sound and repel the mosquito without use of the mosquito coils, which it has some side effects.
However, given his financial status, Abdullahi could not afford good materials for his innovative fabrications, relying only on those materials found in the garbage.
Roasted materials, plastic metals and others, and cleaning them and construct all this locally. I started visiting libraries and internet in order to further my research. I reached this level where I can find anything I like from internet and learn it and construct it physically.
Despite this, Abdullahi Hamza said many engineering students and lecturers from universities within and outside the state are seeking for his help in solving their problems.
What I need is help. Your help. If I get your help, I can build my workshop and do all my work inside. And I hope to train many students under me in order to depend themselves.
He said despite several trials, he could not have access to loan facility among others, including the ongoing federal government social intervention programs. Many agreed the genius Nigeria and many like him across the country can be molded into builders and constructors of sophisticated machines and useful devices if government will invest in them.
Amazing inventions there, and Newsline will keep rooting for young inventors. Now, due to technological revolution, we could say everyone with a smartphone is automatically a photographer. It's common to see people capture moments casually, unlike in the past when taking photos was intentional. But there are photos and there are photos. In other words, photography is an art to be studied and mastered. So, Elizabeth Omoriyi will take us into the fascinating world of photography as a vehicle for change with the expertise of President Muhammadu Buhari's official photographer, Bayo Omoboriowo.
Those are fascinating effects created with cameras, which have made women strike endless poses. Taking pictures is what they do, documenting history and telling stories. Bayo Omoboriowo, founder, Unabashed Creativity Village, is one of them. He has a different perspective to photography.
Photography is a tool for social change, and what that social change means is to protect the interests of our country beyond anything. Nigeria first, Africa first, and we are not going to. It's time for us to begin to see that those. And we cannot do this except we, as young creative Nigerians, begin to step up our game. And we begin to match up with international standard. And that's what we're doing with this training and this whole photo work. To say, guys, you need to step up your game. Time is over when they used to bring photographers from the UK, from the US, from other countries to come and photograph stories in Nigeria. Nigerian photographers are rising.
He puts together this photo walk to Paipe village, tagged Colors of Hope, Surviving COVID-19 Pandemic. This is to tell a story out of prosaic. It was a tough call. Their mission is to create colors out of the ordinary. Trust women and children. They became their top-notch models. Each shot told a story of survival, hope, and life.
It feels amazing, you know, getting out of my comfort zone and coming in here to meet people and see them in their element.
So much excitement, and coming to a community like this to just kind of show what we do and just to show the kind of life. And there are businesses, even if they are small scale, there's a lot, and I can see a lot of, there's hope for the future actually.
After showing off their artistic skills, they headed for the black box, where pictures taken were critiqued. Originality, colors, and spontaneity were factors considered.
We believe so much in the growth of the Nigerian photography industry. We believe so much that it's time for us to begin to think bigger and beyond just the confine of our space.
At the end of the scrutiny, 5 photographers made the top 5. So, the next time you see bio rolling, clicking away, and blocking your views, is actually having its own moment and trying to tell a beautiful story for posterity. Becky, I know you love to take pictures. How many do you delete before you pick your favorite one?
So well, now we know that photography is not an all-comers affair. And yes, I take a lot of pictures and I delete most of them because I'm not an expert. You're watching Newsline. There's so much to come. Join us after the break. A medical oxygen plant worth millions of naira has been donated to the Lagos State government by Total and partners. Annie Daniels reports that the plant is strategically located at the Gbagada General Hospital in Lagos.
The oxygen plant has a production capacity of 30 cubic meter per hour of medical oxygen. It is designed to run for 20 hours per day and expected to produce an equivalent of 100 bottles of oxygen per day. The plant, Total and Partners Management says, is one in series of interventions that the company has made to support the federal government and some state governments since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria.
Is very relevant even after the pandemic. So we wanted to do something that is sustainable, that stands the test of time, and that is very appealing and really solving the problems that we have as a people. So it's just one of the very many things that we have done during this period and that we will continue to do even in the future.
You can see, a lot of other facilities around, like the triage, which we just commissioned, the blood transfusion project, and then the main hospital itself is here. And so a lot of activities are around here, and that's why it's easy to have it here running on a sustainable basis.
Not only in Lagos, but in the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. So we do the whole breadth of health. But really what it is, it's not doing what we think should be done, but dealing with our stakeholders and ensuring that what we're bringing is bringing value to our stakeholders.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu could not appreciate Total and Partners less for the kind gesture, with a promise to put in place other measures to make life more comfortable for the citizens.
It's an opportunity for us to build real infrastructure and have a more resilient health sector reform agenda, which we believe will stand the test of time and will lead to an improved patient experience. The provision of quality health that guarantees comfort and better living standards. It's a fundamental pillar on our team's agenda.
This also improves our COVID resilience, this oxygen plant and the ability to collect samples. We have 10 of them scattered across Lagos.
Total management says the company has also complemented the fight against the pandemic by donating the sum of 50 million naira, supplied medical equipment including hospital beds and mattresses, ICU ventilators and accessories, Primaflex dialysis machines, among others, to the Lagos State government.
Great job, Total. Now to financial matters. During the week, Fidelity Bank PLC announced a remarkable financial performance of 28.1 billion naira as profit in the financial year 2020. Chairman of the bank, Mustafa Chikeobi, who made the announcement at the bank's annual general meeting in Lagos, attributed the achievements to strategic objectives. Kehinde Olabisi tells us more.
2020 is still being described by many as a year of mixed fortunes for the domestic economy. The perennial problems are due to the exchange rate, instability and galloping inflation coupled with the COVID-19 pandemic affected most sectors of the nation's economy. Despite the ill winds of 2020, the bank says it was able to record huge financial successes due to the resilience of its workforce.
It was a very strong year, but it was a year full of challenges. And in spite of all the challenges, obviously I'm new. The previous management and board, I think they did a very good job. We'll try and build on that.
A breakdown of the financial year on the review shows that the bank operating profit before impairment increased by 50.9% from 29.8 billion naira in 2019 financial year to 44.9 billion naira in 2020. A total deficit also increased by 33.7% from 1.2 trillion naira to 1.7 trillion naira. The bank closed the period with a profit before tax of 28.1 billion naira, a drop from 7.6% when compared to the preceding year.
Business is opening up very well. We expect a much better 2021. The numbers are even showing. Our Q1 numbers came in very strong, like you can see. We achieved 53.9% of above our PBT quarter on quarter last year, and that's a very strong sign. And we're definite that 2021 will be much better than 2020.
Impressed by the bank's financial performance, shareholders unanimously approved the proposed dividends of 22 kobo to be paid to shareholders.
A yield of over 8.25%. Even if I left my money in savings account, I will not get that. So I don't consider that not to be a good return.
They have done excellent work. We look forward to by next year, if things better, they double the dividend. Because that's what they've been doing over the years. If they pay 22 kobo today, by next year maybe run to 30 kobo or thereabout, So we wish him well.
The bank, which has 250 business branches across the country, says its current growth aspiration will be sustained while identifying opportunities in the new normal.
To spiritual matters now, the holy month of Ramadan is gradually winding down, and scholars are urging the faithful to emphasize good deeds in practical terms, especially in the last 10 days of the spiritual exercise. Musa Toliad is standing by to tell us the benefits of the outstanding days for Muslims.
The month-long spiritual exercise stems from Allah's injunction in the Holy Quran, which mandates the Muslim faithful to observe the Ramadan fast, and it is made obligatory. Part of best practices in this holy month is constant recitation of the Holy Quran, which was revealed to Prophet Muhammad in the month of Ramadan.
Reciting the Quran is one of the most rewarding acts that a Muslim could ever engage in, because every letter of the Quran he pronounces will earn him 10 reward.
In these last 10 days of the fasting exercise is the prophetic tradition for the faithful to engage in seclusion or intikaf.
If one is fortunate of being up and prayer, in that night, it is equivalent to worshiping Allah for more than 1,000 months. Khayrun min alfi shahr.
Scholars advise that there is need to uphold new normal situation occasioned by COVID-19 pandemic during such seclusion.
It is also important for us to check the health status of someone or anybody who comes to the masjid to do itikaf. Hand sanitizers should be there. Use of face mask should be there. So that when we worship Allah, we try to observe these safety measures as far as the current protocols, COVID-19 protocols are concerned.
A prophetic prayer point is to be emphasized during this period till the end of the month.
Allahumma innaka afu tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. That, oh Lord, you love forgiving your servant, may you forgive us.
The last 10 days dovetail into Eid al-Fitr, which is a period of celebration after the successful completion of Ramadan.
The day of it is what? Yamul Akli wa Shurb wa Dhikrul Azza wa Jal. The day of it is the day of eating and drinking, and more importantly, the remembrance of Almighty Allah.
Before proceeding to the prayer ground on Eid al-Fitr, the faithful is required to carry out a peculiar charitable act.
On the day of Eid, the first thing we do is to pay the Zakat al-Fitr before we observe Salat. It is a means of purifying the fasting Muslim, errors he fell into when he was fasting.
While it is permissible to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, scholars advise and remind Muslims of their obligations after the holy month of Ramadan.
Whatever celebration we are doing, we should not forget Salat. Only fasting of Ramadan has been terminated.
Beyond the first 10 days of Ramadan in Hausa communities of northern Nigeria is the celebration of a comic festival known as Tashi. The event, which evolved centuries ago, aims to mobilize the faithful to be alert and conscious about the religious obligations and contemporary events while enjoying the fun added to it. Hamza Musa Merkafi shares his experience of the cultural phenomenon.
If you appreciate the resonating ambience I recognize, it may be difficult to ignore where it is coming from. A group of youngsters, among them Muhammad Lawal, about 12 years old in Magatwik community, mimics an old man who, tired of renting, wants to build a house, is accused by other players of resorting to ungodly ways to achieve his ambition. Tashi is imbued with messages to inform, educate, and entertain.
You know, it is very difficult for people to wake up at night in order to eat their own sahur. It was on that basis that the young boys, particularly from the age of 6 and 10, that normally wake up in the night dancing, singing, drumming, performing some certain dramatic performances to wake up people at night.
This one, in praise of hard work as key element of societal progress and development. Girls also organize short drama depicting roles of women in marriage, challenges of childbearing and upbringing, and other crucial aspects of keeping a home. With changes over time, Tashe is celebrated in Ramadan regardless of time, and adults have joined the fun using creativity to entertain. Arguments ensue on the propriety of a cleric dancing before the public. There is Tashi, specially to celebrate royalty. But is Tashi losing momentum in the social space of Hausa community?
But unfortunately, nowadays, there are so many other windows of entertainment, and that actually has reduced the significance and the importance of Tashi. But nonetheless, if you go back to remote areas, still people practice, even in a smaller scale, the issue of Tashi, and it serves the purposes of entertainment, of engagement, of social interaction between different communities and different social classes and societies.
Sure you enjoy the excitement there. Now, food, they say, has the power to bring people together. And so, when some of the best young minds met at table to rub minds towards a greater Nigeria, we can definitely expect a favorable outcome. I just described the ambience when the Connected Development Code hosted some young Nigerians from different backgrounds to a special iftar dinner to discuss issues of tolerance and national development. Sawal Khalil Ibrahim was there for Newsline.
My mother is Igbo. My father is Muslim, my mother is Christian. I grew up in Port Harcourt. I schooled University of Nigeria, Nsukka. I grew up for some time in Lagos. You know, I've kind of been everywhere.
Nafisa is one among many young people who still believe that everything should be done to keep Nigeria one and work towards achieving her potentials. These young men and women from different backgrounds are on the same page with Nafisa as work towards influencing and advocating a united and peaceful Nigeria.
We need self-governance. Each and every person must ensure that he de-escalates any tension, either on your TL, in your neighborhood, in your office, anywhere. It is often said that blessed are the peacemakers, for they are the children of God.
There's a huge opportunity for us in Nigeria, and we shouldn't get distracted along the way to that.
Going by the saying that positive result can be achieved from good meal, the spirit of the month of Ramadan is being invoked to reconnect, share, and believe irrespective of creed or status.
They are focused on the future. And we can begin to talk about those things that unite us. How we can solve the issue of poverty, poor outcomes from education, lack of job opportunities.
Just copy the good examples and forget about those ones that that divide us. The youth should be focused. They should use their number 6.
Young people have now taken a stand that we would not be distracted, because what unites us is greater than what has divided us. And for us, we want to inspire and start a new kind of conversation, even after this iftar and offline, to say that Nigeria belongs to all of us, and each and every one of us have a role to play. Today, we must respect each other and continue to tolerate ourselves.
Nigeria, they note, might be going through some trying times, but young people, they believe, have a greater role to play, to speak up and act positively to take the country to the promised land.
Let's pause here for a break. I'll be back in a moment. Come back. The joy and excitement that characterized this year's Workers' Day celebration in Lagos was a clear indication that it was a day the workers looked forward to, and as expressed by so many of them, the absence of the celebration in 2020 due to the COVID-19 left frowns on their faces. Annie Daniels witnessed the celebration in Lagos and is set to bring us her findings.
Workers' Day, celebrated on the 1st of May annually, is regarded as a very wonderful day to Nigerian workers. Not just because it gives them the opportunity to bond with their colleagues from other departments, but also because it gives them the opportunity, or it is a platform for them to air out their views and expectations peacefully. And so today, here at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Onikan, Lagos, workers have come together in their numbers to celebrate this wonderful day. Outside the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, not so much was happening. However, the usual fanfare that characterized Workers' Day were all on display inside the arena. The workers all appeared in chosen attires to differentiate the organizations. In fact, the expressions on their faces were that of joy and excitement.
This time last year, nobody could come out. Many have gone. That we are alive today is vast, it is great.
A situation where women are being relegated is not good enough. Women are great and they've got something to offer in the society.
Apart from the issue of workers' welfare, another issue that took center stage was that of curbing gender-based violence.
As a mother, what number one thing you're supposed to know? Make sure you study your environment very well. Because if any child is being abused, you will even notice in her behavior.
Wondering what that is all about? Then listen.
It's Vuvuzela. So it's part of what we use in energizing ourselves when we are in stadium. This is part of our celebration, you know.
heard right. It is from the vuvuzela, described by many as a trumpet. Now time to show off their marching skills. Can you beat that? People and selfies.
Those please, I'm sending them to our district, our platform, for everybody to see that what is happening here is real, is interesting.
Did I forget to inform you that there was a stand for free HIV/AIDS test and counseling?
A responsible government, we must time and time again begin to test them, especially when it concerns HIV tests.
Yours truly availed herself the opportunity. Don't bother about the result. I tested negative.
I am a Nigerian worker and a proud one at that. So I said to every Nigerian worker out there, Happy Workers' Day, and looking forward to a time like this once again when we come together to celebrate ourselves in a wonderful way. Hi Becky, are you proud to be a Nigerian worker?
To answer your question, Annie, don't I look like a proud Nigerian worker? And what was that about the test? Really? Now, workers had their moments in Akwa Ibom State when they joined their counterparts everywhere in celebrating the 2021 May Day. Charity James seeks to find out the significance and benefits of this annual event for the labor force.
On Labor Day was first celebrated on May 1, 1890, and is considered a public holiday in many countries, including Nigeria. In Nigeria, Workers' Day officially became a national holiday on 1st May 1981. Since then, Workers' Day has been celebrated on these dates. What then are the reasons for Workers' Day celebrations?
The situation that we have found ourselves in Nigeria, it is worthwhile that we celebrate ourselves. The reason is very simple. Where you are not celebrated, you might end up being depressed. You have to celebrate yourself. Whether anybody celebrates you or not, you have to celebrate yourself. The government-worker relationship has always been very cordial. That is very certain. If you are hearing of any disagreement, that does not mean that we don't have any cordiality. It is differences in our job schedule.
It's in remembrance of those who suffered for the struggle on behalf of all the workers. It is a day where workers come to place their demands before government. We also gathered like this for the spirit of comradeship.
To celebrate the strengths, the ideologies of the International Workers' Day, and above all, give us hope and inspire the average Nigerian worker that there's so much to look forward to, that there's a future assured.
Irrespective of the reasons for the May Day celebrations, workers and laborers have the duty of serving government and contributing to the development of the society.
We recall the scenario that led to the observation of the May Day, something that is worth celebrating because it brings the workers together for them to realize that they have a purpose in serving government.
Labor Day celebration will always remain a source of joy and blessing to workers and the country at large.
And it's time to call it a day. Thanks for watching. And just to remind you that things change, but memories last forever. I love you for always watching. Goodbye, and God bless Nigeria.